Hey y'all, if you're new here, I'm Shayna and I'm reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14, episode 15. And before I get into it, I'm a baby YouTuber, so please do me a favor and make sure to like, comment, share the video, and most of all, subscribe. And I'm gonna get right into it. We pick up with Sonya's husband, Ross, walking away because we know last week he said, "Don't F with my wife," and he stood up. And so that's where it ended. So now he's walking away. Sonya left with him. She's going to leave with her man, of course. And Kenya feels away. She said Sonya could have called them to see if they were going to make it to iFit. I'm thinking, Kenya, what are you talking about? She's working. She stated several times this is a work trip. If you were working, you wouldn't have time to call someone every other day or every other minute or every second. Shoot, if you just had baby Brooklyn with you, you wouldn't have time to call. You didn't have anything going on when you took that crab cake and didn't call to see if anybody wanted some. So stop it. Stop it, Kenya. I was liking Kenya this season, but now she's just doing too much. So Candy says what most of us feel. She said between Kenya being a host last year in South Carolina versus Sonya hosting this year in Jamaica, Sonya's definitely the better host. And we already knew that. So for Kenya to complain about Sonya's hosting skills is beyond me. And then, they wrap up dinner. It's over at that point. So poor Drew. She was struggling. They had to lift her wheelchair up so they can get her to the bus. Then, her husband had to help push her up on the bus. Ralph had to give her a little boost and kind of help her. So he's carrying her around because her ankle is so swollen, and I just felt so bad. Like every time I turn around, she has something going on with one of her legs. So she can't even enjoy the rest of the trip at this point. So we see the next scene. Sheree is talking about her non-existent fashion line with no fashions. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And as much as I'm ready for Marlo to go, Sheree need to go on right behind her. Sheree has nothing to talk about, and she can just leave at this point. I don't know why she came back. She's not even a good bone carrier anymore. Then we see that, Sheree was hoarse, but she's going to go see Sonya do iFit. All of her scenes, she's a little raspy, so she lost her voice. While she's going to see Sonya do iFit, Marlo is a temporary host for the day. Sonya asks her to be the host. I don't know why, because she knows no one is going to be listening to Marlo, but okay. Marlo's in charge. Sonya is letting Sheree know that she's just not quite feeling Kenya right now. She's venting to her about how Kenya made her feel. Kenya's saying, Sheree is saying if she doesn't stand up to Kenya, Kenya's going to keep on doing it. That she will. But Sonya is venting to the wrong person. Why are you venting to Sheree? You ain't learned? Have you watched this show in the past? Any season Sheree was on, have you watched? Why are you venting to her? But I don't think Sonya's really going to stand up to Kenya. She got all that energy for Drew, but she don't got that same energy for Kenya now. So everyone meets for lunch. Everyone that's with Marlo. And Kenya is caught off guard because she finds out that Sheree went to see Sonya doing iFit. And, she's just like, okay, well, obviously that's how Sonya handles conflict. She didn't invite me. Why would she? Every time you were supposed to attend something, look at how you acted. I mean, just disrespectful. No regard for anybody's time. Nothing. Just rude. Suddenly, the birds start doing a number 2 everywhere, all over their lunch. And Kenya said that is an omen to say the rest of the trip will be ish. Candy doesn't care. She's still eating her plate. She ain't gonna let no birds, no nobody, no nothing. She said, I don't play about my food or my coins, my check, my money, my food, my man, my mama, or my child. So she's still eating. Marlo's like, you know what? I'm going to the pool. So everybody kind of eventually moves on to the pool. Marlo is venting to Manetta and Sheree about how she felt away about Candy mentioning her nephews at the dinner a few nights ago. And Manetta says she doesn't think that Candy meant it the way that Marlo is taking it. Let Candy speak for herself. Okay. And I'm just like, so Marlo can mention the adoption. That was none of her business. But Kandi can't intervene and step in. It's unfair for Kandi to talk about it, but you can talk about this adoption. Yes, he's talking about a book, but you didn't need to ask about the adoption in front of everyone. You don't know what's going on with it. So everyone is going through the safari. Kenya is complaining. She must have thought they were going to be kayaking or something. I don't know. And Marlo bought basically her entire suitcase filled with wipes, change of clothes, shower gel, hair care products, makeup, perfume, a new wig, everything. So Todd also complained a little bit. He thought they were going rafting, but he said it's more like the lazy river. So Kandi likes it. She said it's relaxing. That's more my speed. Let them do the work for you, and you sit back and you just enjoy the ride and look at the scenery. It's vacation. I'm not trying to do all that. No, I'm trying to relax. Okay. So Kandi and Todd are on their phones, and I'm thinking, why was Sonya so pressed about this being a couples trip or a +1 type of trip? Half the time Ross isn't there because when she's working, he's there. When he's working, she's with the group. They haven't even been together half of the time. I haven't seen any activities where you just had to have a +1. When they were doing this, Sonya was sitting with Marlo and Kenya was sitting with Sheree. So the cast could have sat together to do these events. I just didn't think this whole bring a friend or bring a man or whatever was really necessary. Sonya is venting to Marlo about Kenya being passive-aggressive. Yeah. Kenya is telling Sheree that when Ross defended Sonya, she thought it was scary and aggressive. Now, we know we have to watch our words, especially when we're talking about, Black men, Black women. We don't tend to like to say that things are aggressive unless they actually are. Sheree said she didn't think it was aggressive. She thought he was defending his wife. I thought he didn't have to stand over her. He didn't have to curse. However, it was a 2-on-1. It was Kenya and Sheree against Sonya. So he felt in that time that he needed to step in as her husband. Now, he didn't say too much. I think that he didn't have to say anything. He could have toned it down a notch, but I do think that it was good that he defended his wife there. It wasn't just her and Kenya arguing. Sheree was in on it too, and it was a little bit much on Sonya. He knows his wife, and I think that, there was nothing wrong with him wanting to step in. He stepped in, said what he had to say, and he walked away. He didn't continue to go back and forth like Peter would have. He walked away and he let it go. So last night in Jamaica, Drew's foot is so swollen. She can't make dinner. She can't take any meds for it. She can't move, and they have to fly out tomorrow. So she just wants to, monitor her pill portion. So Mayetta tries to pull Kandi to the side, and she tells her what Marlo said. Kandi doesn't want to hear it. She shuts her down. She's heard it all before at this point, and so have we. And this is long before Marlo ever got a peach. It's funny because Kandi and Marlo, when they get to the dinner, they have on matching shirts, just different colors. Kandi had it in black, Marlo had it in green, but Marlo loved that they were matching. It was funny that they had on the same shirt, and Kenya said, I almost got that shirt too. So that was funny. Marlo tells Kandi at the table that, she felt the way that she mentioned her nephews, but she said it as if Kandi was like speaking negatively about the nephews, which she was not. And Kandi said, I wouldn't talk about, your nephews. I love your nephews. She was directing all her energy to Marlo and how Marlo has been handling those boys and her parenting, for back of letter words, skills. That has nothing to do with your nephews. She didn't say anything about your nephews. She said something about you. You kicked your nephews out, and that you did. But Kandi did apologize. And Marlo says she will never mention Todd again. She won't address him. The husbands get up at that point and leave. So Sonya tells Kenya she feels she's ungrateful. Sonya says she's been a great host, and Kenya is just simply ungrateful. Kenya tries to shut Sonya down, and she's like, you know what, you're going to talk, and I'm going to listen. And she had that tone that was motherly, like as if she was speaking to a small child, and you wouldn't be talking to me in that manner. So, Sonya's trying to defend herself, and this is why Ross stepped in. This is why Ross stepped in the last time, because he already know. And Sonya like, how am I letting King get the best of me in Jamaica? Like, in my home, you up here getting the best of me. So they begin to argue back and forth. King is stomped Sonya. She just, even Candy said, Sonya can't handle her. That's why Sonya does what she does with Drew, but she don't do that with King yet. And she wanted to be friends with Marlo because I don't even think she can handle Marlo, let alone you got to be one of the big dogs to step up with Kenya, okay, if you're going to go toe to toe. But they decided to just, let bygones be bygones. At this point, they just want to work on a friendship and they want to move past this. And so everyone's happy and, it always feels good at the end of a trip. So vacation was needed. The conversation was needed. I'm glad their husbands left and let the ladies hash it out. Will this last? Probably not. So before we get to the very end of the episode, Marlo said, hold on. I went to KFC because they said KFC tastes the best in Jamaica. Nothing like the States. So she went and got a bucket of chicken. Candy could smell that bucket of chicken 10 miles away. So she had to get a piece. Of course, Candy comes over there to get a wing because she's a greedy butt. So, they bond over chicken and they made up. And that was the end of the episode. A nice kumbaya moment and a happy ending. What do you guys think in the comments? Do you think this will last? Do you think that everyone's really made up? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Leave a comment below. Thanks again for subscribing in advance. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.